Hey Divi Nation, thanks for joining us in this live stream, and today I will show you how to create a fixed icon navigation with Divi and the risk management layout pack. So if you haven't checked that out yet, make sure that you do. I've mentioned a link in the description below. And if you're not an Elegant Themes member yet, make sure that you check out Divi. I've mentioned a link to the product page where you can go ahead and discover everything for yourself. So without any further ado, let's get to it. All right, so let's take a look at the fixed icon navigation that we'll recreate. So we have 3 different examples that we'll show you, and we'll explain everything step by step. So this is the first one, and if you click on one of the icons, it will take you to a certain section or a certain design element on your page, and it will just help ease the navigation on your page and give it a nice look and feel. So this is the first example that we'll recreate, and here we have the second one as well. This is the second one, and then we have the third one, which looks like this. So this looks equally as good on desktop as it does on smaller screen sizes, and let me show you really quick. So I'm just going to decrease the size of my browser for you to be able to see it. So here we have the first one, and it does the same thing when you click on it, so it will redirect you to a certain section, and of course you can determine for yourself where it leads to. And let's take a look at the other two as well. So as you can notice, this really does look nice on smaller screen sizes as well as it does on desktop. And let's get started. So we're going to recreate the first example, and then we'll move on to the next two. And the first thing you will need to do is upload a layout to a new page. So create a new page using the risk management layout pack. So we've done that here already, but you can go to elegantthemes.com/layouts, and if you scroll down, you will come across the risk management layout pack, and over here you have all of the layouts that are available. So you can join to download if you're not an Elegant Themes member yet, or you can view the live demo by clicking on the blue button, and then afterwards you can use these on your WordPress website by accessing the pre-made layout. So this is the look and feel of the layout pack, really nice if you ask me, and you know, it's just a nice addition to have. And the approach that we'll handle within this tutorial will, you know, look great with this layout pack, but you can really use this for any kind of website that you're building. So let's get started with the first one, which is the following one. So the first thing you will need to do is create a page, and I've used the landing page of the risk management layout pack, and then I'm going to enable the visual builder at the top. All right, so once you do so, the next thing you will need to do is determine what sections you want to refer to within the icon fixed navigation. So I'm just going to pick some random ones, but you can really determine it for yourself, and you can also choose the proper icons. But I'm just going to show you what the approach looks like, and you can from that point on, you can figure it out whether you want to, link it to the contact section of your page or to another page as well if you want to do that. So I'm just going to add the first anchor link to this section, and I'm going to do that by adding a new ID to it, so a CSS ID. So I'm going to open the section settings and go to the advanced tab, go to the CSS ID and classes settings over here, and you can basically do that for any kind of design element. So you don't necessarily have to add it to an entire section, you can just add it to a module as well if you want to. So I'm just going to give it the following ID, but you can really choose the name for yourself, and then I'm going to scroll down and add this kind of ID but with a different number at the end to 3 other sections on my page. So as you can notice, I'm just changing the numbers, so you have to use a unique ID for each one of the sections that you want to link to. And then I'll just add it to the last section over here as well. And this is the 4th anchor ID that I'm using. So the next thing I'm going to do is add a new row, and I'm going to do that to the end of my page over here. So I'm just going to add a new one, and I'm going to use 1 column. So without adding any modules yet, I'm going to open the row settings, and I'll add a white background color to the row. Then I'll go to the alignment settings in the design tab, and over here I'm going to push the row to the left side. So you do that by just enabling the left row alignment over here. And as you can notice over here, it's also small in size. So to be able to accomplish that, we're going to modify the sizing settings of the row, and we're going to use custom width. So I'll enable that, and I'm going to use percentage instead of pixels, and I'm going to add 4%. I'm also going to enable use custom gutter width over here and put that value to 1. All right, so then I'll go to the spacing settings. So this looks good on desktop, but it looks a bit too small on smaller screen sizes, so this will not fit the smaller screen size. And to modify that, we're just going to add some custom padding. So I'll just enable the responsive option over here, and I'll go to tablet first, and that's 2 viewport unit over here, and 7 to the right side. So as you can notice, this allows it to take up more space without having to modify the entire value in the sizing settings. So we'll do that for both tablet and phone. Then we'll also add some rounded corners. So I'm just going to use 10 pixels for the top right and the bottom right as well. We're also going to add a subtle box shadow, and this will just help, create a difference between the fixed navigation and the page itself. So I'm just going to enable the first option over here, and I'm also going to increase the blur strength to make it a little bit more subtle. I'm just going to keep this shadow color over here. So if you want to follow everything step by step, by the way, you can just go to the blog post, which I have mentioned in the description below. And for instance, the next step that we're going to handle is adding some custom CSS code, and this will just help it, stick to the left side and be fixed. And I'm just going to go to the advanced tab over here and go, I'll just add these lines of CSS code. So I'm making it fixed. I'm also removing all of the space on the left side, and I'm also adding some top and bottom margin to, create the space. And I'm also adding a Z index of, a very high value. So it, that way you are sure that it will be on top of everything else on your page. All right. So now we can start adding the modules. So I'm going to switch over to desktop over here. And to add the icons, we're just going to use some blurb modules. So I don't need any content. I'm just going to remove that. And instead, I'm just going to pick an icon. So I'll remove the image here, use icon. I'm just going to select an icon over here. So make sure that you match this with the section that you're linking to. I'm just picking some random ones, but depending on which section you are linking it to, you'll want to use a proper icon, of course. So then we'll go to the design tab, and we're going to modify the icon settings over here. I'm just going to use a black color for the icon color, but of course you can modify here everything up to your own needs. Create your own kind of designs matching to your website. So we're also going to keep this icon placement at the top, and we'll use a icon font size, which will modify for the different screen sizes. So enable the responsive option over there, and we'll use 2 viewport unit for desktop, 4 for tablet, and 5 for phone. So you'll notice the smaller the width of the screen gets, the more the value of the viewport unit that you use has to be, because it matches it that way. All right. So now that we have this first icon, I'm just going to save this page really quick. Now that we have this one, we can clone it 3 times. So we have 4 anchor links, so we'll clone it 3 times. And then we'll just change the icons. I'll just do that really quick. I'll just pick some random ones. And now this is an important part. So we'll have to link each one of the icons individually to the section that is meant to be linked to that certain icon. So I'm just going to grab that ID over here. So what you'll need to do is open each icon over here individually, go to the link settings, and over here you will need to add your own website. I'll just add your website.com, then slash your page, and then slash the IDs. So you have to put it like this. So this is the first one, and then you can simply just copy that and add it to the other icons as well. But make sure that you change the number at the end of each one of the IDs so it links to the correct section or design element on the page. So make sure that you replace the URL over here and the page title over here, and then just use the correct ID and it will link to it automatically. And then I'm just going to save this and exit the Visual Builder. And here we have it. So let's move on to the next example, which is the following one over here. I'm just going to open a new page that I've created using the risk management layout pack. And if you're not an Elegant Themes member yet, make sure that you check out Divi. I've mentioned the link in the description below. Make sure that you check out this layout pack as well. It's really stunning. It has these nice image masks, and I've put a link to that in the description. So go ahead and check that out and use it for any kind of website that you're building. So I'm just going to enable the Visual Builder at the top over here. And it's kind of the same approach. So again, you will need to scroll down to the end of your page and add a new row. Again, use this column structure, so just one column. Open the row settings without adding any modules yet. Choose left row alignment and then modify the sizing settings over here. Use custom width, use percentage for it. I'm just going to use 6% over here. I'm also going to enable the use custom gutter width option and put that to 1. Then I'll add some custom spacing values over here to make it match with the different screen sizes. So it's kind of the same thing as with the first example, that this kind of width is good for desktop, but you'll need to add some extra padding for it to be, nice on smaller screen sizes as well. I'm just going to enable the responsive option over here. I'm going to the tablet option and we'll add 2 of the viewport unit and 10 to the right side. And I'm just going to modify the right side to 15.5 because I need some extra width there. And then I'm again going to add some custom CSS code lines for it to be fixed and stick to the left side of the screen. So to do that, I'll just go to the advanced tab, custom CSS, and add the following lines of CSS code to the main element. And again, you can find all of the steps, all of the CSS code in the blog post, which I've mentioned in the description below. So now again, we can start adding the different modules. So we'll again use a blurb module. We'll remove all of the content and we'll use an icon instead of an image, but of course you can use your own kind of icons as well, especially if you have a really customized website and illustrations available. Definitely do so. Use an image of your choice and make it more unique and play around with all of the settings to create your own kind of left fixed icon navigation bar. So again, I'm going to choose an icon over here. And then I'll modify the icon settings. So I'm going to use a black color for my icon color. I'm going to use a circle icon. And I'll change the color. So I'm using a slightly transparent color because it will overlap on tablet, not necessarily on tablet, but more on phone. It will kind of overlap a bit with the content. And if you want to keep that readable, but still have these really nice, icon and navigation to the left side, you can definitely use a semi-transparent color, and this will allow both of them to coexist in harmony. And I'll just change the icon font size on the different screen sizes. So I'm using 1.5 on desktop, 3 on tablet, and 2.5 on phone. All right, so now that we have that, we can clone the blurb module 3 times. Again, change the icons. And then add the URL that leads to the anchor link, and I'm just going to grab that really quickly here instead of having to type it down again. All right, so open the first one. Do the same for the other 3, but remember that you have to change the ID a bit for it to go, for visitors to be able to go to the right spot on your page. All right, and then I'm just going to save the page and exit the Visual Builder. So here we have the second one, and let's go to the third one. So by now you should be able to comprehend the approach that we're taking on over here. So it will be the same with the third one, but we're just handling different designs. So again, I'm going to enable the Visual Builder over here. So let's take a quick look at the third one that we'll recreate, which is a smaller one. This is what it looks like on phone. You can see the width is smaller for the third one. But we do have these kind of colors involved. And again, we're going to add a new row to the last section of the page using one column. And I definitely want to encourage you guys to play around with all of these examples, and once you get the approach, you can really create your own unique versions of it and make it match with any kind of website that you're building. So we're using a gradient background here, and I'll just add this first color and then the second one as well. Again, you can find all of the different color codes, CSS code, all of the steps written down in the blog post, which I've mentioned in the description below if you rather read everything and go that way. So then we'll add, then we'll change the row alignment to left, and we'll modify the sizing settings again. We'll use custom width percentage. We'll use 4%. We'll enable the use custom gutter width option, put that value to 1, and we'll increase the padding on the smaller screen sizes. Enable the responsive options over here, go to tablet and add to the left and 7 to the right. And then on phone, we'll use 1 for the left and 5.5 for the right. And we'll also add a border to it, a left border of 3 pixels with a white color, and a subtle box shadow again to create that difference between the left icon navigation and the entire page. And we're going to increase the blur to make it subtle, and we'll keep this shadow color, but again play around with all of these options and get your perfect fit. And then we'll go to the advanced tab and add some custom CSS code. So this will help make it fixed to the left side, and it will create some space from the top to the bottom and from the bottom to the top. And we'll also make sure that this will be on top of everything else that's on the page. And then we can add our modules. I'm just going to save it really quick and then add a blurred module. Again, we'll remove all of the content, and then we'll remove this image but use an icon instead. Select an icon of your choice, and then go to the design tab and modify the image and icon settings. We'll use a white color for it. We'll use a top icon placement, and we'll also modify the icon font size according to the different screen sizes. So 1.5 for desktop and 4 for tablet and phone. So this is what you get. Then again, go ahead and clone the blur module 3 times. Change the icons. Into whatever you want, really, or use a custom icon. And I'm just going to get that anchor URL again, so you'll need to do that for each one of the icons individually. And add it to each one of the icons, and make sure that you change the ID at the end, so the number or whatever kind of ID you're really using. And then you're done. All right, so let's take a final look at the 3 different examples that we've recreated, and which you can find by going to the blog post in the description below if you want to follow everything step by step. So here was the first one, and by clicking on an icon, it redirects you to a certain section on the page. You can customize everything according to your own needs, use your own kind of design, or just follow this tutorial to be able to achieve 3 types of designs. And then we have the second example, and last but not least, the third one as well. Well, that was all for this live stream. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, and we hope that you're enjoying this ongoing Divi design initiative where we try to put something extra into your design toolbox each and every week. We're sure you want it. If you want to follow everything step by step, go to the blog post in the description below, or you can also rewatch this video after it's done, after the live stream's over. So thank you for watching, and we hope to see you in our next live stream or video.